What did you think you were really good at until you saw someone who was actually really good at it? Hiking. I honestly thought I'd be one tough Methodica, cancelling my apartment and going into the big wide world of Scandinavia, Faroe and Iceland with only my backpack and sleeping outside. Then I met a guy who just came back from a 700-kilometer glacier hike at 40°C in Greenland who came to Faroes just to recover. Sadly, that guy became my partner, and he had shown me in so many occasions of what my body is literally not able to endure that I had to readjust my whole self-image. I eat more chocolate now. This is us. My dad likes gardening and loves his plumeria. He has about 30. He recently found a local plumeria club on Facebook and went to a meetup. He was the only one there with less than 100. My mother has stopped complaining about him having too many plumeria. Ping pong. I made the mistake of playing an old guy that hangs out at one of the bars and he ducking wrecked me. It wasn't even close. He returned all of my best serves effortlessly and would put the craziest spin on all of his shots. He gave me good advice afterwards and told me I play too fast for my own good. I bought him a drink and shamefully went back to my friends. Table tennis. We had a table at work, and so I started playing anytime I could, with whoever I could. I'd played a little when I was a kid, so picked it back up quickly and started getting half decent. Eventually, I started playing with one co-worker fairly regularly. He was good, no doubt. At first he was clearly just volleying with me, not actually putting it away when he'd get the chance. This made it more fun for me to be sure, and offered me great practice. Anyway, after about a year, I'd gotten to the point where I could cream everybody I'd play with ease, except him. And our games had elevated drastically, to the point of all out smashing the ball back and forth standing 10 feet away from the table, and I actually started winning some games every now and then. I was ecstatic. Well, one day, after losing a pretty heated game to me, and me being just a little bit pompous about it, my table tennis buddy co-worker pulls a total Inigo Montoya on me, flips the paddle from his left hand, which he 100% consistently used when playing against me, into his right and says to me, "You know I'm right-handed, right?" I did not, nor did I ever win another game against him. I began piano lessons at an early age, 5, and my parents and my teacher made me believe I was some kind of fabulous child prodigy. I later found out I was merely a worm compared to real pianists, but I did enjoy playing the piano, so there's that. I thought I was pretty good at Tetris. People who saw me play were quite impressed. Then I started playing Tetris 99. Turns out I'm not that good. Skiing. Thought I was the quickest of the quick, braving perfect parallel lines, living my life on the edge. Nope. Ski team was by me when I thought I was going fast. Turns out, I'm just a buffoon on 2 planks now plowing around ungracefully. As a 23-year-old birder, it's humbling to be beside a retired 70-plus-year-old who can see birds where none seem to be, identify them. 8 ball and 9 ball. I had a table at home and would practice while watching TV. No one could beat me. In college I'd play a $1 a ball. Everyone owed me money. Then I played someone that regularly entered tournaments. I was lucky if I got to shoot because he was running the table every game. Guitar Hero. I never met anyone who could beat me. Then I saw a dude on YouTube 100% bark at the moon with his back to the screen and I'm done. Math. I'm a theoretical physicist, and I always felt I was pretty good at math in undergrad. Then I met the professor I'm working for right now. One of my life goals is to become at least 3/4 as good at theoretical physics as he is. Then I met Ed Witten. Then I read some papers by Freeman Dyson. Damn. Programming. Learned a lot in college and at my first job. I switched based on my skills. Came to new company, met my senior who is incredibly talented and realized I have a long way to go. I've come to the realization that I'm very mediocre at a lot of things. I can do most anything, just not well. Driving. Everyone thinks they're a good driver, sit along with a professional driver as they go through a course, and then try to do the same? So humbling. At one point I thought I was pretty savvy in Excel since I was the best at it out of the people I knew. Well, Then I meet someone who really knew how to use Excel and realize that I really only knew the basics. I think I'm a pretty solid writer. Every now and then I read a novel that just makes me think, well, I love you, but also duck you a little bit. Fighting. I won a ton of amateur MMA bouts and a few professional. But then I met someone who beat the ducking brakes off of me for like 3 rounds and then choked my ass out. Turns out, I am pretty okay at it. But I am no world champion lol. I would love to hear answers to the inverse of this question, where someone didn't think much of their prowess but turned out champions. Drawing and painting. One of the things they don't discuss in art school are the near constant beatings your confidence takes, most of them self-inflicted. I used to teach high school art, and those kids were amazing. They should have been teaching me. When I was in 5th grade, I didn't really have any friends, was bullied, picked last for sports, etc. At recess and at home. I started running because I wanted to be good at it. It went on for a few months and I had convinced my little 10-year-old mind that I was a superb runner and super fast. One day in PE, they basically had us race each other. I got put up against these 2 popular girls that were best friends and I just knew that this was my moment and all my work was going to pay off and people will like me. They smoked me. Playing guitar. I'm good enough to impress normal people, but I could never reach the level of a professional musician. I played in a piano competition at age 16. Back then, I fancied myself a pretty good pianist, and there was this teenage girl who went on stage, sat down in front of the piano, and calmly blew all of us other contestants away with ease. She played Maurice Ravel's Duke's Dio, and she was absolutely captivating. Within about 30 seconds, I think we all knew she was going to win first prize. After a few minutes, I felt the judges ought to end the contest right then and there and just give her the trophy. Even now, over a decade later, I'm still in awe of her. She did it with so much grace, dignity and style. I only wish I knew her name. Playing piano. There's so much competition and there's always an Asian kid 93,832x better than you. I practice every day and have been playing for 10 years and I thought I was exceptionally smart because I was in talented and gifted program in school. I was a great test taker. I got good grades and breezed through getting my bachelor's degree. School was always pretty easy for me. Then I went to law school. Everyone was older than me, had actual life experience, and they were realty ducking smart. People would ask such thought-provoking questions. I couldn't believe we had read the same thing. I realized graduating high school and getting a bachelor's in political science at a state school wasn't genius level stuff, and I had developed absolutely zero study skills over the prior 21 years. My first year in law school hit me like a ton of bricks, but it all worked out. Avoiding work. I thought I was good at it. Then I had kids. They are a whole nother level of work avoidance. Video games. Every time I find a game I feel like I'm really good at, I always find a close friend that's x100 better than me in that game. I learned to solve a Rubik's Cube and practiced until I could solve one in like 30 seconds. Then I saw a video of the world record at the time, which was like 4.9 seconds. That was pretty depressing for me. Okay, I'll jump in. In my late 20s I had never lost a single game of Scrabble in my life. I have a pretty large vocabulary and a talent for pattern matching, so I was always able to come up with very long words and find high bonuses to place them on. The true Scrabble players are already laughing at me. Well, I was looking for something to do with my time and decided to try the local Scrabble club. I'll cut to the chase. I didn't win a single game. I didn't even present a challenge to a single player there. Several of them got annoyed at having to match up with someone as bad at Scrabble as me. I left that night deeply humiliated, but amazed. I never went back. What I learned that night is that championship Scrabble players do not bother hunting for 150-point mega score words. No, they kick your ass by placing 3 tiles that cross-connect to form 5 different words, 3 of which are 2-letter words, all of which somehow share the same triple word score tile even though only 2 words can possibly use it. And they score like 226 points by laying down those 3 tiles. It's incredible. It's as much art as science. So I learned a lot about humility from that one. I thought I was really good at cup stacking. I could put up and take down a tower in 30 seconds. Well, then I decided to look at videos of other people cup stacking. What people do with cup stacking is incredible. Anyway, I no longer consider myself good at cup stacking. Singing. I used to sing in the car and thought I was great till I heard my friend who took voice lessons sing. I still sing in the car though. I was actually a really good wrestler in high school. I went to state as a freshman, got 4th as a sophomore, 2nd as a junior, and then won state my senior year. During the summer before my senior year, my team went to a wrestling camp. My coach knew the coach of another team in another state and we went there to practice with them for a week. I was the best wrestler on my team and I beat everyone on their team also. The third day of camp, some guy came in to wrestle with us. I didn't know who he was, but we were about the same size, so I challenged him. This guy proceeded to duck me up for the next hour. I didn't score a single point on him and he did whatever the duck he wanted to me. I was completely helpless. Come to find out, he was a 2-time Division II national champion in college and a 3-time All-American. I learned that there are levels to that and I got a massive dose of humility. Not me. I've always been pretty realistic about my skill set. I've always taken the saying, no matter how good you are, there is always somebody better. But the most hilarious thing I saw was at work. I worked with a guy in his mid-40s who was a racquetball nut. He ran his local club, played wherever possible. There were 2 guys in their early 20s who were talking smack about how good they were and they could easily beat him because they were younger and in better shape. My coworker, rightly confident in his skill set, simply said 2-on-1, I will win, and he did. He did not just beat them, but they scored 0 points against him. Disc golf. Thought I was hot till I went to the World Championship. Cool thing about meeting someone who is better than you at a skill means you have a great opportunity to learn how to get even better. Smash Bros. It seems like a casual Nintendo game at first, but it has a really high skill ceiling. You can be the best in your school and you can always manage to forestock everyone. But if you play against someone that played it on a competitive level, you notice how little you actually know about the game, even after playing it for 5,000 hours. This happens to literally everyone who plays guitar. Townsend and Clapton wanted to kill themselves after seeing Hendrix. When I was in kindergarten, I used to think I was the 2nd fastest person in the world, my older brother being the fastest. That was until I got in a race with somebody in my class, and not only did he destroy me, his clothes were flapping in the wind. That visual really stuck with me and convinced me I wasn't. I didn't particularly think I was really good at it, but I thought I was decent at drawing quirky little cartoon versions of people, and I had fun doing it. That is until I got threatened to be banned from Reddit Gets Drawn. That was a real punch to the gut. Excel. I could create some charts and pivots that looked good, so I thought until I saw everything the Rain Man of Excel and VB could do in our office. Tennis. The sport I grew up playing. I beat the majority of my colleagues frequently and even won a few tournaments. My coaches intentionally lowered their level when they played against me so that I wouldn't be thrashed. Not a whole lot to be learned from that, and I thought they were giving their best and I was able to pull off some close scorelines. I'd watch the guys on TV and think that most of it wasn't really that impressive. Thought the sport was pretty slow, and the pros don't do a lot of flashy stuff, as they want to win. So I thought I'd reach their level in the near future, until the pros came to my country to play a tournament, and I went straight away to see Roger Federer practice in person. I was blown away so hard and my ego was so crushed that I wasn't able to speak for a few days. Never again was I arrogant about anything anymore. I thought I was hot in middle school, typing 60 WPM. Until I got to high school. I swear some of those kids would reach upwards of 150 WPM. It made me feel real small time. I build cars as a hobby, and when I mean build cars, I modify cosmetically and mechanically for all forms of racing for myself and with my husband. My grandfather taught me everything I know about cars from when I was a child, and getting dirty and oily hands from helping him growing up. I love all types, but my main focus are building drift builds. I taught myself how to drift, how to control my car by making it lose control, while I still contained control of its power when it broke traction. I practiced on the many drift tracks that are near me. I was able to maintain it and keep it going around sharp and long corners without spinning out or stalling. Until I watched my grandfather be let loose in his OSI 65 fastback Mustang that he built from junk to prize. He literally went Ken block on all of the corners, almost never straightening out. I've never felt so much discouragement and enlightenment in myself more than that moment. He has a bad back now, but man do I miss him acting like a 20-year-old again, working on the cars he loves and doing everything he did while driving them. Europa Universalis 4. After seeing Flory Worry play. Chess and math are the first two I thought of. You ever see someone who's like really good at Excel? Like, I'm good but watching someone who is really good? It's amazing. Guitar. I've been playing for 30 plus years now, so I'm pretty good. Okay fine. I'm really good now, stop making me brag. Anyway, about 10 years ago, I was still really good at that point. I go over to a couple's place for a barbecue at the beach. I walk into the main room and a 12-year-old kid is chilling with his dad and has a guitar in his lap, talking to someone. It's a really nice Martin, so I comment on it. The dad says, "Hey Junior, let this man play a bit. Try to learn something." Now honestly, I'm not a show-off. I really don't even people that well. But I figured, hey, I've been playing a while and this kid's father is being really cool about helping his son learn an instrument. I admire that. All kids should learn to play music. So I accept the offer. Bust out a couple short tunes, some decent riffs and a couple of my flashy scales at full speed. But not too big a deal. I don't want to make the kid feel hopeless. I mean, he's just a kid learning to play, right? Room. I hand it over to him and he begins to ducking shred this thing like I'm some kind of arsehole who started playing 45 minutes ago. Don't get me wrong. The kid was not showboating at all. For those of you who play, you'll understand. When someone can play, you can tell. And when someone can shred, you can definitely tell. Kid shreds. After 10 minutes I pick my ego up off the floor and crawl away, wondering where I went wrong in my life. Thanks kid. I have a graduate degree in less than math special to more than. When I started the program I thought I was it hot. No, I completed the program. But it took a major effort and some luck. My second year, there was a class on less than topic more than. I handed in a 12-page proof that showed a certain amount of fighting spirit, but was ducking wrong in every way. Another guy handed in an answer to the same problem set. It was 1 page. It was correct. He continued to outpace me for the duration of the program. In that moment I began to learn humility. Singing and music composition production. Every time I feel I finally get to another level, I'm humbled by the truly gifted artists out there. Hard work will pay off though. I love drawing and am the art kid in my school. I found out one of my classmates likes drawing too, so I checked out her drawings. They were so good I was jealous. Later she found my art Instagram and her reaction was, "Why are you even posting? You know I'm better than you." Almost crushed me, but I ignored her. Now I've been drawing for 3 years and doing quite a lot of progress. Cooking. Before I met my wife, I loved cooking. Did it intermittently because I lived with my very Anglo family who didn't appreciate too many spices or new flavors. But I thought I was pretty good. Then I met the wife. Her cooking makes everything I used to cook look like steaming trash. I've gotten better, but the general rule is now that she cooks, and I handle cleanup. Ultimate frisbee. I thought I was amazing based of high school gym class. Then I got to university. When I was in my 20s I spent a year employed as a ballroom dance instructor. All that dancing went to my head and I became convinced that I was great. Maybe even really special. Went to the Copa in Nick ready to knock everyone out with my moves. I walk in, shoulders back, fringe on my dress swinging, get a shot, knock it back and get ready to get a partner and head to the dance floor. They don't know what's about to hit them. I think to myself as I ready my body to unleash sweet salsa moves. But then, this little old couple, dressed in country clothes, each about 4 minutes and 10 seconds, shuffles past me and I hear a collective gasp of breath from the rest of the crowd. The lady is wearing a gingham dress and the man is decked out in cowboy attire, complete with hat and gold-tipped boots. I stop in my tracks for a minute to try to figure out why everyone is buzzing. Is it me? I haven't even started yet, but then, the couple suddenly busted out with an array of dazzling moves and rhythm. The man and the woman moved as one, perfectly in sync and smiling the whole time. I couldn't believe how amazing they were, and I took my ass right back to the bar where I belonged. FIFA. I boss all of my friends. We have a H2H league, and over the course of 4 years I have lost a total of about 15 games from over 200 matches played. I routinely win online to the point it sometimes isn't challenging. I was a hero in my own head. Untouchable. Messi. In FIFA form. The Ronaldo to their Heskey. The Alan Shearer to their John Walters. I reveled in it. One day, a group of us were at my friend's having a FIFA tournament when one of his roommate's friends came round. Small guy. Looked like he hadn't showered in maybe 17 years. You know the type. Apparently, he was a professional FIFA player, ranked 15th in the UK, and was in the process of being selected by a Premier League club to be their sponsored FIFA player. Naturally, everyone salivated at the prospect of me getting my ass kicked. I respected his alleged skill, but I thought I could have him. I don't think I got the ball off him. He basically just had me on a string. Skills. Bending in free kicks. Overhead kicks. Relentless pressure until I gave him the ball back. I was swearing. Sweating. Trying to even pass the ball 2 yards, had him all over me. Nicking the ball back and steamrollering upfield. It was like playing the computer on the hardest difficulty plus 1500. Except the computer was actually Lionel Messi and I was a wheelie bin. And he wasn't even trying. He beat me 6-0. Oh. And did I mention I was Liverpool and he was Derby County? TL. Doctor, no matter how good you think you are at computer games, I guarantee there is someone out there 1000x better than you and will show you up for the big-headed, arrogant fool you are.